So I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I feel it, a little peculiar.
And the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull, Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
Snarf, 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 snarf.
Snarf, snarf. Finally, we're going to talk a little He-Man, which that was probably the biggest one out of all of these. Definitely the longest staying power. But for me, it's lived on in memes more than the show itself. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even go back and watch anything in prepping for this podcast because I had revisited some episodes not that long ago. And man, that is a wacky show. I think why it resonates with me so much is just that was such an iconic character in the late 80s. And that's the first time I really remember like a toy line being super popular and really well done off of a television series. My neighbor across the street had Castle Grayskull and like a ton of the figures. It was just freaking epic. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Castle Grayskull, it came with slime that you could dump over like the front gate, right? And like get on top of the other action figures. I think so. I could be maybe just like dreaming, but yeah, I in fact I think I even had a He-Man figure growing up. It was just such a popular character.
Yeah, I remember playing with He-Man figures for sure. They were so ubiquitous, I think.
Yeah.
Just because that's, that was like the whole point of the show too. That was kind of where they started out making shows to make toys.
Yeah.
Looking back at the outfit that he wears and stuff, I remember playing with the characters from it, but I had no idea what it was from when I was younger. And that evil villain, what is it, Skeletor? I remember my brother had a bunch of figures or whatever of He-Man and Skeletor, and must have been other ones from that same, I guess, cartoon thing, but I didn't know what it was from. And I did go back and I watched 3 episodes, and yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it has not aged well.
It's not good, yeah.
Plus, like, what always bothered me is, like, Prince Adam looks like He-Man. Like, all of a sudden he takes his shirt off and has a sword and rides around on a different colored tiger. And he's, you cannot miss... It's like the Superman thing. It's still Clark Kent. Like, everyone should be able to tell, but nobody can.
I gotta go change so I can go in here and be me.
Has anybody watched the movie?
There's a movie?
Yeah, there's a live-action Dolph Lundgren movie. Yep.
Really?
I've never seen it, but...
Oh my god, I need to watch this now. That's going to be on my list. I'm watching this, and we're going to talk about it next podcast.
Yeah, I think that's Masters of the Universe. I think that's called.
Dolph Lundgren. That's awesome.
Apparently, He-Man was, really big in Europe, or somewhere over there. Seems
well,
like.
Yeah. And actually, I think the last He-Man game to get released was one on the PS2, and that was only in Europe. We never got it here. So, one interesting thing that kind of flew over my head as a kid, but in looking back at He-Man stuff and the characters and things now, I discovered that somebody in charge of character design over there with the He-Man franchise had a little bit of fun with their job, and this flew over my head completely as a kid. I'm gonna go through this list of actual villains or possibly allies. I don't know. I'm going to assume villains in the He-Man universe. Ram Man, Fisto, Extender, and Clamp Champ. Like, if those aren't the most, like, sexually, like, innuendo-laden, like, action figure names.
Yeah.
And Fisto has a giant metal fist, like you'd expect, which I assume he uses on Ram Man. With the help of Extender. I just cannot believe that this stuff is real. Like, I thought it was a joke.
Was this guy in like a sex toy store when he had to come up with these names for these guys?
Probably.
And he's like just looking around and he's like, oh.
I'm gonna try these clamps tonight. Snarf, snarf. Oh, it's Clamp Champ. I don't know if I said that right the first time. That's the guy's name, Clamp Champ. I didn't see a picture of him, but I assume he's got clamp hands and is wearing nipple clamps.
Yep.
Is probably the character design. But yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Fisto. Good stuff.
So He-Man was the only one that actually got like a console game. They had an Atari game, right?
Yeah, Atari and Intellivision, it looked like. It was same game, I would imagine. Cross-platform. And then there were some early PC games, it looks like, and I assume there was some sort of reboot around the 2000s, early 2000s, because there was a GBA game as well, followed by that PS2 game that we mentioned.
Sure.
That never made it over here, which I think is atrocious. I've seen a few Let's Plays, and it's supposed to be just garbage.
So there was a game very recently on PS4
Really?
that he was a DLC character, I believe.
And what is this game?
I don't remember.
Oni Chanbara? Bikini Zombie Slayers?
That's one I would remember, but that one's not the right one. It had
I think there's a skin for somebody to turn one of them into Hercules
Really?
or a He-Man. Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. I don't know. It's kind of fun to go back and revisit some of these weird 80s cartoons. We'll have to look back on these sort of things. It'll be interesting once we get closer towards the late 80s and 90s, and you can really discuss shows that have video games that are almost as relevant as the series. When you get towards like Disney Afternoon era.
Yeah, pretty much anything Capcom was doing in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, any little show.
Yeah. Maybe next time we can move a few years into the future when, you know, YouTube were in existence when these shows aired, and I won't feel like such an old... Maybe we'll do one in the 70s just so I can say I wasn't alive then. And that'll be the whole topic.
Yep, Scooby-Doo.
Boy, man, you could do hours on Scooby-Doo, couldn't you? That show will just not die.
You could. You shouldn't.
It holds up too for kids still. Like, my kids love it.
The new Scooby-Doos.
I don't really pay attention to them, but
Aren't they like hanging around John Cena now and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, in the whole Scooby and, like, Fred dynamic, and I don't know, they kind of screwed with the characters in ways that I don't know. It's still entertaining. My kids do like it. I would agree with Justin there, but I'm not a fan. I want vintage Scooby-Doo.
So Scrappy-Doo is what you're talking about.
Fuck Scrappy.